It's Mondays Live. Very excited to be here, everybody. I just wanted to touch base and have a little chit chat. Oh yeah, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy almost New Year. How is everybody doing? What's going on? Are you excited about the new year? Are you cautiously optimistic about the new year? Yes. I think we're all kind of, holding our breath, just waiting for the other shoe to drop, perpetually, right? But let's think good thoughts. I wanted to do a clarification corner for last week's video, or was it last week or a few weeks ago? The last video that I did. I think a lot of people thought that I was comparing myself to other people, but my point of that story was other people think that I'm unhappy because they think I'm comparing myself to other people. Just societally, every time I talk to my grandma, she's like, "Oh, are you dating?" And it's I think they think that I'm unhappy. But the whole point of my rant in the last video was that I'm happy. That's it. Other people think they project the societal pressure onto me, and I'm like, I'm enjoying my life, so I can't really complain about that, right? For Christmas this year, I just hung out, relaxed, cooked, cleaned, spent time with my animals. I actually had just a really beautiful holiday. And for me, when I was younger, I was already married and stuff, and I was in a serious relationship when I was younger. And so I feel a lot of my 20s were spent, appeasing other people's families or familial traditions and obligations. And honestly, I'm so happy that I don't have to do any of that. I don't have to go to anyone's house. I don't have to do anything somebody else's family wants me to do. I could just do whatever I want. And I know that I'm happy because when I was younger, I always had this baseline anxiety or just an underlying agitation, feeling I could, if I was taking a nap, I just always felt like someone was gonna kick the door open and wake me up and jostle me and whatever. My life now is so chill. And I don't know if it's the ashwagandha that I take, I don't know, but I just look back at my life when I was younger, and I'm so thankful every day that this is my reality. So I've been listening to a ton of Bethenny Frankel's podcast. Have you guys listened to it? What is it called? Just Be with Bethany. I really like it because maybe it resonates with me because I'm also an East Coast New Yorker, Bergen County. That was also my life at one time. Obviously not on her scale, but living in the city and networking and producers, directors, photographers, photo shoots, that was my life too, on a small scale. But when I hear her talk, she's just so relatable to me, even though she's maybe, how old is she? She's probably 12 or 13 years older than me. I just feel a familiarity with her, right? So I really like listening to her podcast. And the reason why I like listening to it, yes, I find it very relatable. She has these guests on that we grew up with, the older generation. I was born in the 80s. So a lot of the people that she interviews are people that, actors that I grew up with, and, musicians and artists and stuff like that. So I'm really digging this podcast, right? she had Brooke Shields on, and just like really just cool people to listen to, and the common thread, right, in all of their stories, because for me personally, I am looking at 2022 and I have big goals, right? I have big goals for my life, and with big goals comes big risk, and big risk could mean big loss. And so I'm at this point in my life where I'm about to turn 38, and I'm looking at my life in a different way, and I'm looking at my business in a different way, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm a little bit nervous to negotiate on a larger scale because the stakes are so much higher. So in listening to the podcast, I'm hearing all of these very successful people that you don't really know the ins and outs of their lives just looking at them on a magazine or whatever, but listening to their stories on like an intimate level. And Brooke Shields talking about her mom, Terry from Newark, and how she wanted to be something different and something more sophisticated, and that's so cool and admirable. But just like listening to everybody's story, there was like a big arc, and then there were some bumpy times in her career and her life and her decision making and her finance and all of that stuff. And for me personally, because I was an actor and worked in the city when I was little, I also had some familial stuff with money that was very messy and very traumatic, and so it was a very relatable story for me. But just listening to all of these really successful people talk about, some of them didn't come from influential families, so you have to learn all of these lessons the hard way, right? So I'm at this point in my life where I'm about to turn 38. I'm not quite, in my early 30s, and I'm not quite 40 yet, and I'm divorced and no kids, and so part of me feels like I have just like the absolute smorgasbord of whatever I want my life to be. And then there's that other side that's a little bit scary because I don't have the safety net of a husband. I don't have the safety net of a really wealthy family, etc. So I'm just loving Just Be by Bethenny's podcast, because it's really, some people find mentors really quickly and easily in life, and then some people just have a hard road in life and end up being the mentor. So I feel like I'm just kind of like, I've always had to learn the hard way, so those lessons tend to stick more. But I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready to welcome in, like the great CPA and the mentor, and because I really would like to grow and expand my life and my business, and I have a lot of great ideas, and I feel very excited. So it just is scary, right? Because you just don't know. And when you listen to these, the men and the women on the podcast, they're like, who's out to get me at all times? Because when you make a lot of money, you have bigger problems. So I just want to make sure my life is in good order and it can progress somewhat smoothly. But I've made, I've taken big risks, and I've made big mistakes when it comes to money. I had worked my entire childhood, got my money through a lot of, back and forth and contentious, court dealings and all of that stuff. And so then when I ended up getting my money, I was very young, and I was like a sitting duck for all of these piranhas who just they all want a little piece of what you have, right? Because they're like, look at her, she got it so easily. She doesn't, what is $1,000 to her? It's a lot, and when you have a lot of different people kind of coming with their hand out, and you're a young person, you're inexperienced, you don't really know how lucky you are to have that chunk of money, how hard it is to acquire that chunk of money again. People are just very like sneaky and want what they want and are self-serving, and you want to believe that people have the best intentions for you. So also listening to Bethany talk about her divorce, I was lucky with my divorce that we didn't have any assets together. We didn't have children together. I didn't become a millionaire while we were together. So it was very simple. We didn't even have to see each other. I got mailed the documents, I signed them, and I mailed them back. However, when I was younger and I was in a serious relationship, not married, but had mingled finances, that person ended up being very sneaky and self-serving and thought that they were, my money was like carte blanche. Like they could just, oh, I want a condo, you should buy this for us. I want a house, you should buy this for us. And, being like young and inexperienced, you're like, oh, yeah, we're going to be together forever. This is like such a great, no, my friends, like, no. To all the young women out there, if you find yourself stepping into some money, or don't tell people. Don't tell people. Like, if you can help it, you're broke. Like, if you can help it, people don't need to know you're doing well, especially if you're younger, because you just don't know. And if you don't have a good, solid, strong, smart family behind you, you're going to literally have like a target on your back. Take advantage of me, So if you're young and you're coming into money, or you find yourself coming into money, keep it separate from your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your partners, whatever. That's yours. That's your nest egg. You don't owe anybody anything, no matter how you got it. It doesn't matter. It's yours. Guard it, okay? Because when I listen to these people on the podcast, and when I listen to Gary Vee and all the, it's just like, you have to be savvy for yourself, because at the end of the day, like, no, there's the exceptions to the rule. There are couples who just work so brilliantly together, and they mingle their fight. There's always going to be that exception to the rule, right? But I want to say, for the vast majority of people, you want to keep your finances separate from all of that. So I don't know, I'm just finding that podcast really inspiring. Again, she's somebody that I just like resonate with. I like her communication style. I like her, anecdotes. It just resonates with me. I can't recommend it highly enough. Yes, what else? I just feel like I have a lot of stuff coming up. I have a lot of videos that I want to make. I am getting my bathtub refinished. So I was going to do like a home tour, because my home just feels so beautiful and cozy right now. And of course, I have to take apart my entire bathroom and store everything like in my bedroom for the next 2 days, because they're redoing my bathtub. Yes, but I will say I haven't taken a bath in 2 years. Yeah, almost about 2 years, like a year and a half. So, because this bathtub just like grosses me out, so I haven't been able to take a bath in so long. Once it's done curing, after the 5 days, I'm going to be able to take a bath again, and it's going to be so luxurious, even though my bathtub is like, it's like this deep, right? But I'm excited for that to happen. But yeah, I just wanted to like jump on and say hi to everybody and just talk about stuff that has been impactful to me recently. I will say I'm not even going to give that breath, but I will say in a side note, stay tuned for the next few videos that I'm going to make, because we're going to be talking about hair. We're going to be talking about skin. Those are the 2 videos that I have coming up that I'm really excited about. Kale. Yes, kale is so delicious, especially in your smoothie. But stay tuned for those videos coming up. They're going to be fun. And if you're not following me on Instagram, like, what are you even doing? Elm Hair Studio on Instagram. You could follow me at The Crystal Colorist on Instagram too, but that is like Elm Hair Studio, you're coming for hair. The Crystal Colorist, you're going for like personal opinions, jokes. It could be like not everybody's cup of tea. So if you are sensitive, probably just stick with Elm Hair Studio. But I'm so excited to record the upcoming videos. Do you listen to Bethany's podcast? Do you like it? Oh my God. Also, side note, I love her because years ago when I started Lunar Locks, the pillowcase, her assistant was like, yeah, send over a pillowcase. So shout out to Bethany. I don't know if you loved the Lunar Locks pillowcase, but I just like loved the fact that I was able to send it to you. And that's what's going on. I hope everybody has an awesome new year. Don't forget, I'm doing like the 12 grapes. I'm eating black-eyed peas. I am probably gonna have some pomegranate. I think for New Year's this year, I'm going to like really like pimp out the altar. And I'm going to set out like a charcuterie with sweets and just like all of the good luck things that one could do for the new year, because I'm just like, I feel like 6 is a better year than 5, right? Because if we're talking about like numerology or astrology, or not astrology, tarot, 5 of coins, not so great, like out in the cold, like, you know, not like poor, blah, feeling like not prosperous. 6 is like a little bit more, you know, six of cups, like love, romantic love, love from the past, like idealized love, right? I feel like 6 is just a more optimistic year than 5. And I hope that I'm right on that. Don't, you know, don't pin any false hope on my hope. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and just know that like you don't have to be anybody else. You're you. You're you. I'm me. I'm fucking stoked about that. You're you. Be fucking stoked about that. I can't wait to see you in the new year. Have a fucking kick-ass week, everybody. Mwah, 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 mwah. And yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.